Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. An update from Ukrainian front. The Russians are coming, the Russians are coming. The Russians liberated the city of Sudzha in Kursk. Kursk is the oblast in Russia that NATO invaded using mercenaries, Ukrainians, and volunteers. And the Russians finally, after about 1,000 years, pushed them back and they liberated the largest city. The Ukrainians are retreating but not running away, supposedly. The Russians launched a massive drone and used some drone attack and used some Iskander missile to strike Ukraine. The Russians succeeded again to cross the Oskil River in Kupiansk area, which is in Kharkov. What else we got here? The Russians claim they were attacked by more than or almost 80 drones from Ukraine last night. What else we got? Let's see. The Ukrainians claim they destroyed a masked UAV factory in Kaluga Oblast. It's like remember when the Americans were saying that Saddam Hussein has weapons of mass destruction, and they said he has mobile labs, chemical labs. And when Roosevelt, if you remember, he was asked, where are they? This mobile, first they were chemical weapons, and then he said they were mobile units carrying them around north, south, east, west. The same. They're not going to show you where this masked UAV supposedly is, but hey, let's trust them, right? Let's begin with the first article. The big news for the Russians, obviously. Russia Today, March 13th, 2025. Russian forces liberate largest Ukrainian-held town in Kursk Region. Sudzha, populated by some 5,000, was under Kiev's control since August 2024. These guys took over it very fast, very fast. Now, where is Sudzha? Here is Ukraine. This is Kursk Oblast in Russia. This is where the invasion occurred. And Sudzha is this town here. Yesterday it was almost obvious that the Russians are in the center of the city. They play some pictures in various areas, and I say this is center of Sudzha. And I'm going to show you some pictures. The Russian military has dislodged remaining Ukrainian forces from the town of Sudzha, the largest settlement taken by Kiev's troops in their incursion into Russia's Kursk region, the defense ministry in Moscow has announced. So, what do we have there? Ministry of Defense releases video of liberated Sudzha. And indeed, that just flattened. So, when the guys in the West tell you that, Russians destroyed cities and flattened, yeah, that's true. That's where the Ukrainian army decided to take refuge and defend. Well, the same thing here. The Ukrainians entered Sudzha and they stayed over there, so the Russians went and them up. Unfortunately, all this for outside interest. All right, let's see what the Ukrainians are doing after Sudzha. Ukrainska Pravda. Ukrainian forces retreating in Russia's Kursk Oblast, but not withdrawing altogether. Well, yesterday I made a video in which it was General Gerasimov. He was reporting to Putin that the Ukrainian forces are encircled and isolated. So they can't withdraw. All right, if we look by that one. This is what the Ukrainians said, remember. They're not withdrawing. So this is the last remaining whatever it is. Ukrainian troops are making a significant retreat. In Russia's Kursk Oblast, particularly near the town of Sudzha, but are not entirely withdrawing from the Kursk front. Units that spoke to Ukrainska Pravda have confirmed they are being repositioned to positions on the Russian side of the border. So they say they relocate themselves here. So they're pushed back here and they relocate here. So they're not retreating. Do you remember, what the hell was that? In the Second World War, Winston Churchill told the expeditionary force, whatever remained out of the Brits, to advance to the coast. Remember, the Germans were encircling them at Dunkirk. In Dunkirk, then Adolf said, Warte, wait, halt, stop. And he stopped for about 48 hours or so and allowed the Brits to cross the channel. Why? I can't tell you straight, but the point is, that guy never wanted to fight people like himself, which is Adolf. He always kept the English in high esteem. He thought they are good stock of people. He always wanted an alliance with Great Britain, actually. But nevertheless, maybe you never heard of these kind of things by our history teachers and the mass media and the Hollywood and all this jackass. Nevertheless, in Dunkirk, when the Brits were running away, Winston Churchill said, advance to the coast, not retreat, advance. So same here. These guys are not retreating, they are repositioning themselves. Euphemism. But hey, what can you do? This is a war that people unfortunately have their lives destroyed and lost. Ukraine war update. 138 clashes in past 24 hours. Heavy fighting in Pokrovsk and Kursk sectors. So the main ones are Pokrovsk and Kursk. We already covered Kursk. Pokrovsk is in Donetsk. Well, the Russians continue to advance. This is Pokrovsk, right here is Krasnoarmeysk. This is Pokrovsk. The Russians advance towards Dnipropetrovsk, and they're gonna probably encircle, and that's it. So this is, remember, in Donetsk Oblast. This is the Sea of Azov, Dnipropetrovsk, again, the Crimean Peninsula. So here is Pokrovsk, just so you know. According to the Russians, this was an article from the Russians. Next one, Ukrainians. Ukrinform again. Russians cross Oskil River. Ukrainian Defense Forces attempting to push enemy back. Khortytsia. Russian forces took advantage of the frozen Oskil River to move part of their forces across it. Currently, the enemy is attempting to reinforce their positions using small watercraft. How can you use watercraft if it's frozen? Anyway, who cares, right? The point is, they are crossing over. Where do they do this? I will show you. So this is in Kharkiv Oblast, and here is by Kupiansk. Kupiansk is this little town of Bethlehem here. Then Oskil River runs like this. And the Russians already crossed over it here, as you can tell. But they were trying, for whatever reason, to cross by Topoli, right here. And it seems like they succeeded crossing it in here. And right here, they're advancing towards Kupiansk. Kupiansk is gone. They haven't succeeded doing it in the south of Kupiansk, but I suspect Kupiansk will fall. But after Kupiansk, what's next? It's going to be Kharkiv. Do they want Kharkov? Well, if you remember, what's his name? Medvedev said Russia actually should take the Russian city of Kiev. So that gives you a clue. Next one. Ukrainska Pravda. Part of Russian troops managed to cross Oskil River in Kharkiv Oblast. Again, this is Kupiansk here, and they are crossing over. They're going towards Kupiansk. Exactly what I showed you in here. Again, Kupiansk, they show you this area here. Is this the one? No? Yes. And move on. Boom. Ukrainska Pravda. Russia attacks Ukraine with Iskander ballistic missile and 117 UAVs. 112 drones failed to reach their targets, if you believe that. So let's see what they attacked. They attacked Kharkiv, Poltava, Sumy, Chernihiv, Kiev, Khmelnytsky, Vinnytsia, Dnipropetrovsk, Zaporozhye, Odessa, and Mykolaiv. In addition, 38 enemy decoys drones disappeared from radar without causing adverse effects. So details. These are the ones. Let's see where they are located. Correct. So they are in this. This is Zhytomyr, Khmelnytsky, Vinnytsia. Then they got Odessa, Mykolaiv. Then they got Dnipropetrovsk, Zaporozhye, Kharkiv, Kharkov, Sumy, Chernihiv. So basically all this, they didn't go further into the Polish side of Ukraine. Let's see where these guys launched their missile and, or missiles, I don't know, yeah, they said missile, and UAVs. The Iskander missile, singular, was launched from Russia's Kursk Oblast, while the drones were launched from Russia's cities of Shatalovo, Milerovo, Kursk, Bryansk, and Primorsko-Akhtarsk. So the suspects are from here. Shatalovo is in this area, Bryansk, Oriol, Kursk, then you got Milerovo right here, and then Primorsko-Akhtarsk exactly here, across from the Sea of Azov. So this is where the Russians launched their missile, from Kursk, they said, from Kursk Oblast, and everything else from the north, northeast, east, southeast. All right, let's see what's next. Primorsko-Akhtarsk, we got that covered. And the same thing from New Voice of Ukraine. Russia hits Ukraine with missile, singular, 117 drones, 74 downed, damaged in 7 oblasts. The same thing with Ukrinform, and then we go to the next topic, which is Ukrainian intel drones strike masked UAV plant in Russia's Kaluga Oblast. So when I see this kind of masks, probably they're not going to tell us where and what, because, I mean, they're going to tell us where, but like I tell you, something was hit in New York City. Okay, where's the evidence? It's masked, man. It's masked. So, drones from Ukraine's main intelligence directorate of the Defense Ministry hit a disguised unmanned aerial vehicle production site in Obukovo, Dzerzhinsky district, Kaluga Oblast, Russia, on the evening of March 12. New Voice sources have confirmed. So this little town of Bethlehem is located exactly here. So this is Moscow, this is Kaluga Oblast, and in nowhere is a little town of Obukovo Kaparovo. Where is the drone factory? I don't know, in one of those houses they were manufacturing it. So, and the other map that occurred, according to these guys, in Kaluga, right there. So from here they struck somewhere in this area in Kaluga Oblast, if you believe it. And I believe it because the Ukrainians say so. Drones of Ukraine Defense Intelligence strike concealed UAV production site in Russia. The same thing. And this is the last topic. Russia reports attack by almost 80 drones on its oblasts and fire at factory. Probably the factory that we already mentioned, right there, Kaluga Oblast. Russian authorities have claimed that 77 drones attacked 6 Russian oblasts, with a fire breaking out of a factory in Kaluga Oblast. So let's see what factories they hit, they say. The Russian ministry claimed the air defense has destroyed drones in the following oblasts. 30 UAVs over Bryansk. So 30 over Bryansk. All right. Bryansk is right here. Bryansk. So in the north. Okay, next one. 6 over Kursk. Now we know where Kursk is, already right here. Over Kursk. Next. 6 over Kursk and Voronezh. 6 over Voronezh. Oh, Voronezh, where are you, Voronezh? Right here. Voronezh, 6 over Voronezh. Right there. Then we have 5 over Rostov and 5 over Belgorod. Rostov in right here, this area, and the other one is Belgorod. So these are these areas here. Okay, well, this is the update on the little front of Bethlehem. The Russians are advancing, and the Ukrainians are going to be pushed back from their adventure, successful temporary adventure in Russia. They were successful, however you want to look at it. And they stayed over there for August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, months. Now, that's an achievement, don't you think? But hey, I knew that eventually they will just smack them around. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.